Hello and welcome to another update video about Harmony One. Covered it a few days ago. We talked about this resistance area that we need to break to push higher. We haven't really broken it and sustained above it, but we are about to break it. Yeah, we certainly made a new high. We just sort of stuck at the same height of that previous swing high here from September, around 2.4 cents. And we're pushing higher, and as we talked about it in the last video, I don't see at the moment any sign of a top in place. And I told you in the previous video, a wave 2 should be imminent, but as long as we hold above the trend line, the trend is going to continue, and any pullback, of course, to the trend line could be used as an entry point if you choose to do so. However, this is really, scalping. At the moment, in my opinion, there is not anything to do until a wave 2 forms. The wave 2 support area needs to be moved higher anyway now, and it would now be between 1.66 and 1.25 cents. So that would be the new wave 2 support area, should we now break down and form an ABC structure. Similar to Phantom, different wave counts would be possible here, even though this is a pretty clear 5-wave move up in my opinion. So I'm waiting here for a signal that this move up is finished. Until then it can just extend out. If we hold above the trend line, further continuation to the upside is certainly still possible, especially if we now just sort of measure here the length of the third wave. We go to the low of the fourth, then you can see we already reached the ideal target for a fifth wave on Sunday. That was at 2.15 cents. I believe in the previous video we talked about that level. And the next target would then be the 2.53 cent level. Now that would be no surprise to reach that, even though we don't need to, because we already did what we need to do in a wave 5. Yeah, we already reached that 61.8 extension. And I think the only reason why we get stuck here at the moment is that structural resistance of September. So let me go to the 4-hour chart and let me put that horizontal line on the chart just to highlight here the resistance. If we break above that, I think we could move up quite quickly. It's a bit like Phantom. Next key resistance, we've got the targets here, the FIB resistances, yes, but next structural resistance might be only here around 3.4 cents. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Interestingly enough as well, some of you who have been with me and More Crypto Online for more than a year will know that a year ago we covered Phantom and Harmony One, yeah. And my view was at the time as well, I think we were here in January, I remember that we would be coming down, yeah. That we would be coming down and that this would not push to a new all-time high. A lot of people at the time expected a new all-time high, but it looked to me like a correction already, a bit like Bitcoin and so on, overshooting B-wave and so on. And both Phantom and Harmony One moved in very similar ways. They were both coins that moved very late. Yeah, they had their cycle top, or at least another real run in January. Yeah, you had the all-time high back in October, November, but they actually had another massive run back in January. I think Phantom as well. And just to highlight that they moved together. They are basically sort of forming, running in the same cycle and the same type of waves. So if you know Phantom, you know Harmony. It's a bit like that. And at the moment as well, interestingly, they are both holding really well in the current rally. And no, actually in the current sell-off, because we have a bit of a sell-off, but they hold really well. Also 5% drop here, but other coins have lost 10%, maybe even more. And we're holding still above the trend line. We haven't broken the trend. We'll make higher highs and higher lows. So it's very interesting, yeah. Obviously, on the 1-hour chart, if you zoom in a bit, you see a double top there forming. But, we had one here, so it's not really anything substantial. Certainly, if we look at the indicators on probably the more reliable 4-hour chart, also here we see bearish divergences form. So I think, we're getting towards the end of the trend. But if we break above the 2.37, 2.4 cent level, I showed you the VPVR here. No, sorry, I didn't show you the VPVR. I showed you the resistance and then the lack of structure in the move up. Phantom, I showed you the VPVR, whatever it's called. Volume profiles. Yeah, and if you look at this here as well, very similar. If we break above this high, we are going to see a reduction in the historical volume. So there isn't much there, which means that if we really break above this cluster of volume, it's an area of trade, so it's naturally support resistance. But if we break above this level at around 2.4 cents, there isn't much. And that's also why it pumped so much in 21 and why it fell so fast in April and May. So this is something interesting. We are at key levels here. Yeah, I want to be very clear about that. We talked about that in the Phantom video, and already yesterday I mentioned it in the member live stream when we talked about Phantom, that they are at key levels. So it's worth watching. Yeah. Good, and that's my update about Harmony One at this stage, and I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe, and if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching, bye bye.